had to take care of some family business and everything, but it feels great to be back at, well, actually, I feel like this is one of my homes right here, you know? But I want to get to it with the, let's talk today about professional wrestling versus MMA, the real versus the fake. You know, now, before we start...
You trying to hurt somebody's feelings?
No. Well, actually, my feelings is hurt, okay? Because, all right, let me just say this. When I'm talking about professional wrestling, I'm not talking about the real wrestling. I'm talking about the mainstream version, you know, with the bells and everything.
Like that? Like that?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? or the WWE brand that is very popular in the U.S. and actually they're expanding. They're actually trying to go out. So, you know, but even though it's going through some major changes and challenges, you know, to keep up with the times of competition from other combat sports, you know, they have to change. So they're not your mom and pop, well, I guess your granddaddy too, professional wrestling promotion anymore. You know, Vince McMahon has really taken it to the next level. But I gotta say, I grew up listening and watching professional wrestling. Okay, my grandfather used to watch it all the time, got us into it. So, you know, Saturday nights, go to the little local rec or whatever where they're wrestling. But then, as time went on, I got into, you know, you probably don't know this, you may be too young for this one, Seafood, but the Ultimate Warrior, and, you know, Junkyard Dog, and you know,
no, I never heard that.
You never heard the Iron Sheik?
That's past my time.
You never heard of Hulk Hogan or Andre the Giant? You never heard of those guys?
I was past that prime. I'm sorry. Are you trying to tell the age thing here? Or
listen, okay.
I think Rodney knows. He's back there.
Yeah, I know.
He's back there waving and jumping.
Yeah.
Rodney knows what's happening.
So do you know who Diamond Dallas Page is? You know, the Road Warriors, Animal. Yeah. See, you guys don't know about that.
The War Warriors, Freebirds, and all them. They were some bad cats.
Yes. So you never heard of them?
No, never.
Was you Wikipedia or something?
What's this thing over here? His laptop thing?
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't know if I hadn't looked it up.
Well, you know, my personal favorite was Bill Goldberg, The Rock. You know, I couldn't really get into Steve Austin, but you know, I give him his due. He was good. He was a great salesman. But it was probably about 1999 when the truth came out that I heard that the wrestling was fake. I couldn't understand why my favorite wrestlers like Booker T and all those guys, Brock Lesnar and all those guys, they couldn't win the big fights. The Von Erichs could not win the big fights. You remember the Claw?
Yeah.
Rodney, you remember the Claw?
You know, that's Fritz, that was Fritz Von Erich's thing.
Hey. So I couldn't understand, but we gotta give credit to where credit is due. Vince McMahon has really turned this thing into a super brand. It's a multi-billion dollar company now. Okay, took it over from his dad. But I guess the question is, what do you want to see when you're watching combat fights? Do you want to see something that's a story, that's great theater? Now, don't get me wrong, those professional wrestlers are great athletes, but what are you tuning in to see? Or do you want to see a real fight, or a real skill level? You know, because sometimes I see these pro wrestlers, they're fighting, and winning, and all of a sudden, a heel kick that has no power to it knocks them out, or throws, you know, one punch knocks them through the ring. And I was like, you know, when you start learning martial arts and when you start learning how to fight and what it takes to throw a punch, you start seeing the real for the fake. And it kind of messed me up. I blame you for that, by the way.
Well, like, wait a minute. Since you did that, I want to tell everybody now. As you can see, when Brian gets on a topic and he's passionate about it, he can run with it. It's been on his mind for a minute.
Yeah.
And now what's happening here is his wrestling heroes have been crushed.
Yeah.
And so he has to come out and share this with us. Until we get this off his mind, we're not going to get any good topics. So we're going to let him get this off his mind. But I want to let you guys know what's going on. And yes, he is crazy right now. I want you to know that too.
No, I'm angry.
But we're going to let him get it off. We're going to let him get it off.
If I can interject real fast.
Yeah, go ahead, Rodney.
I just want to say this. I don't know any mixed martial law myself.
Right.
But I'd much rather watch the entertaining fake stuff.
Why?
Only because it's got a storyline. I feel like I'm kind of on the good side or a bad side. I know who I'm rooting for, the whole theatrics, and I just want to be entertained, and I'm good with the fake stuff.
Well, Rodney, here's the thing though. I mean, when you're watching an MMA fight, you are being entertained too, because it's a storyline. The story is the guy walks in the cage, gets beat up by another guy, and then he gets carried out. That's the story.
Well, you know what? I don't want to sum your whole show up in one synopsis. But it's about standing your own lane, man.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, seriously, it's about just knowing where you are. We know what wrestling is. Wrestling is entertainment.
Right.
But you know, we got things for a long time, man. Like you said, you know, grandma and grandpa in wrestling, you know, you can get up at late at night and they up in the chair watching that, and you got your big thing of popcorn, everybody, you know, and they moving, and grandma's getting in it too, and you see her throwing punches. You know? So, I mean, you know, that's family entertainment. You have to kind of think about back during the time it came from, you know, where we were in ratings as far as TV went, you know, and different things that could be seen, you know, on a violent level.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, again, you know, what, wrestling came out of vaudeville or something, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
You know?
Starting in the 1800s to 1880s.
Right.
You know, came out from Canada and the United States. So
yeah, so you know, I mean, it was a show.
Yeah.
You know, it was a show then.
Yeah.
You know, like the Strong Man. You know, it was a show. So I mean, you know, we understand it. At that, I mean, you know, now it's come to the point where you know they've gotten pretty good stunt wise. So you know, some stuff looks really good. We got to give them credit for that. And I'm gonna let you get back on it because this is your thing.
No, you good. No, you good. You good.
I gotta let you get
you
it out.
good. You good.
I
Because
gotta let you get it out. But you know,
I'm learning something.
you know, you got to give them credit, you know, as stuntmen. And as we get more into your conversation, I mean, you have a lot of interesting stuff to tell our listeners out there. I mean, that you come up with, you know, and to really know more about these guys and what they really went through. Even though it is a show, they put their bodies through a lot. You know, they put their time through a lot to give people that good show.
Yeah.
They put a lot out to give them that good show. You know, so you give them credit for that. I mean, I understand their lane.
Right.
You know what I mean? As a fighter, I don't expect them to be like UFC. You know, they are wrestling, they are entertainment. They're our fun guy, our hero to look up to. You know, something again, something to share with grandma. You know,
Right.
It's great. You know, it's great to have something. You know, like you say, your grandma comes, baby, I like Booker T, baby. Okay, grandma, okay, you know, we with it, baby, we with it. You know, so. You know, it's great. You know, that's entertainment on that. But anyway, I'm gonna let you get back into it.
No. That's great. That's great because you know now you talk about. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. What do you think is the top combat sports in the world today? The top combat sports. What do you think wrestling and MMA ranks among the top combat sports?
I think from my perspective,
don't be biased.
See, that's why I didn't say that. I got way
I think for the sake of argument, especially everyone listening right now, we got several people listening.
Okay.
For the sake of argument, we got to define what you mean by combat sports. Because you can look at football as a combat sport, hockey as a combat sport. I mean, are you looking at just no other goal but to knock the person out? Are you looking at that, or are you just looking at contact or combat, I guess is...
Okay, when I say combat, I'm talking about combat such as war. Okay? So let me kill that.
Define war.
Okay, so war is one-on-one, and I'm not talking about guns, I'm talking about, you know, fist to fist, feet to feet, maybe a sword, knife, whatever, okay? But, you know, in today's day and age, we have to do it the sport aspect where it's just mano-a-mano.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just me and you.
Okay, no, but you just turned around and you said you thought of you kind of got me because you said two things. You said, you asked what was the top sport, right?
Combat sport.
You said what was the top combat sport?
Right.
Okay, and in combat sport, you put some weapons in there. It was pretty spicy.
Well, when I say that, let me digress because I forgot.
Right,
you know, I'm
you're
doing
excited. Right. See, I know you get past it.
No.
He's out there. He's on us today, right? He's out there.
I'm talking about now. You know, still being able to use, and you know this, to be able to use the principles without the weapons. You know, think about judo, for example.
Or Kali.
Okay, Kali.
Okay.
We'll use Kali.
Okay.
Okay, you know, I get the crap beat out of me with the foam sticks, but the technique is still the same when we start talking about the hoobits and all that kind of stuff.
But you can make the argument that football is an art of war as well, too, right?
Nah.
Because you're strategizing on beating your opponent.
Yeah, but you're not trying to beat them up.
No, actually, everything is an art of war.
Yeah.
Depends on how you look at it. Any game we play out there, you know, it's a big chess game out there. My man against yours, and we're matching up for offense and defenses.
Right.
Yeah, and to score is to get my kill in. You know, so you know, it depends on how we look at it and how we're breaking this thing up. That's why I mess with Brian because he gonna break down and tell us about this.
Oh yeah, but okay. Well, here, let me give you some rules then. The rules is this: punching in the face.
Okay.
That's illegal in football. Technically in hockey, I say that loosely, because you know most people watch it just so they can see the fight. But kicking, choking out, you can't choke out a football person because that's illegal. So all of those things is what I'm talking about.
So you're talking about pure mano a mano
yeah,
combat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. So I did some research, and this is what I found.
He confused me, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
By the way, big shout out to everybody listening to us in the Philippines right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
What's up, Philippines? Thank you.
Man, talking about some true passionate people there. But that's a story for another day. Because their tradition,
Yeah, I love my Filipino colleagues.
Yeah. Because
Yes,
I'm learning. It's
beautiful culture.
But check it out. The top combat sports: boxing, #1 in the world. Okay, kickboxing, #2. And then, depending on who you ask, is a toss-up between MMA and pro wrestling. Pro wrestling right now still has a larger audience just because of the history. But MMA, people are starting to switch over. And check this out, people are even starting to switch over from kickboxing now into MMA because of the diversity. Because, if you're a fighter, you want to see the challenge. You want to be challenged. You want to be tested, because how can you say you're the best unless you train with the best, fight the best, and beat the best? Right? And, I remember what Matt Hughes said, you're not a true champion unless you can defend it more than once. So, you have to defend the title.
The dumb question, okay? Just the dumb guy, the guy that knows nothing about martial arts, okay?
Stop talking about me.
Explain to me the difference between kickboxing and MMA, because I would think they're both kind of one of the same, unless I'm looking at it different.
Totally different. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, kickboxing, it combines, kicking and boxing, but MMA is all around ground. It's all around game. So the game can stay up in the top game, which is the boxing and kicking, or it can go to the ground game, whereas the judo or the jits or wrestling, because not everybody that fights in promotions or pure jit guys. Some guys are coming from a wrestling background.
That's right.
So
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of other stuff out there. I mean, other than jits, and if you're going to be in the jits game, you need to learn all some stuff too, like sambo, catch, and different stuff like that. Some Greco.
Greco-Roman. So in fact, that's where John Jones comes from. That's his background, and Randy Couture. So anyway, so that's the difference between kickboxing. Alistair Overeem is a great example of someone who made the crossover from kickboxing in K1 fighting to coming over to mixed martial arts. So, but not everybody can do that. Not everybody can make the transition. But let's get back to wrestling. So wrestling started back in the 19th century. You like this, Rodney? And it was just something to do for the whole family. Okay, it was part of a carnival. The Freaks and Creep show. Okay, no offense, but that's what it was. And then it became vaudeville, because the whole idea was to have these strong guys, but they didn't want to get injured. They didn't want to hurt anybody, because the promoters knew that they still needed these people for the next shows. So as they started going to different towns and eventually cities and et cetera, then it began to grow in popularity. Because back in those days, it was a very, very testosterone-driven world. Okay, so but over time, as it began to grow into a multi-million-dollar company, and we got to give credit to the McMahons to really make this thing global, because now we got wrestlers coming in from all over the world. So and interesting FYI side note, Vince McMahon's father, Vincent McMahon, did not want young Vincent to wrestle. Did you guys know that? Vince wanted to wrestle. He wanted to be a wrestler first.
Well, he eventually did, didn't he?
Well, he did.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he
didn't want to.
That
aspect of it.
Yeah, his father did not want him to wrestle, but he waited till the old man died to go to business. Not only did he make it into a multi-billion-dollar company, but he got to wrestle too. Because his dad was of the mindset, the management should not mingle with the wrestlers. We got to keep a divide. But Vince McMahon said, why? Why can't I do both? And, so now we get to see the result. Rodney, did you have any action figures when you was growing up?
Hey, man, I'd rather just plead the fifth on that one.
Uh-oh.
I'd rather just plead that. Because, as growing up, I think we all had some.
No, we all did.
But now to think about it, it's like, I don't know.
Rodney, do you still have any action
No,
figures?
not at all. Not at all. And I won't buy my son either.
Well, check it out. Check it out. If you did, all joking aside, if you did, some of that stuff is worth some serious money.
Mm-hmm.
Serious money. So see why you're up here saying, "No, I didn't have them."
I can ask that second question. I didn't have them, but I'll tell you I do have them now. and for that fact, as Brian said, they're not open. I have them, but they haven't been open.
Yeah, because they're worth money.
Yeah, they're up on the shelf.
So I gotta say this though, but you know, all joking aside, so if you're going around and you're still playing, you know, you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, still playing with your action figures, just don't let nobody see you. I'm just saying. Well, I don't know. Maybe they have clubs or something like.
No, that's
nah,
why
you don't want to be in
Xbox and everything else. That's why we got mad and all that, you know, to save us.
But I want to go back to the storyline. So the thing that I have a problem with you guys is with the wrestling is the fact that the storylines. You know, the best talent doesn't always win. Tell me that your favorite wrestler made it all the way, quote unquote, to the champion level, and then gets beat by some little fake punch. Or maybe he got thrown through the rings, or maybe he got hit in the head by a steel chair. Okay, and by the way, the blood is real on a lot of those. When you get hit in the head by a steel chair, it does make you say ouch.
Yeah, you know, I saw some of that stuff where actually some of those guys would cut themselves ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know, right when you popped it, it would, you know, go ahead and do that. So I was like, you know, that's a lot to go through with some realism.
That is. So, you know.
But again, a show.
You know what? We're so busy getting into this, and I want to get into some more, but we gotta invite our fans to listen and to talk, because I'm sure they got some favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
So who are your favorite wrestlers, guys? And so when we get back, give us the number. So we got 214-814-5890. Hey, call in, tell us about your favorite wrestlers, because we can ready to go somewhere, people. We can ready to go.